good stat line, and sometimes it has a ridiculous effect.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that a lot with these Omega cards. Like, in the last format, Omega Agent Warlock also saw like quite a bit of play, just because, like, hey, on turn 10 it's 12-15 in stats, and on turn 5 it's only slightly worse than the Eddy.
Yep. So the first Omega Assembly is going to get used. Dinomatic, another Eternity Rover, and a Secure. Or I would imagine, yeah, that Dinomatic pass up. And they can get a full clear with the Shield Slam and trade. They can even play a Clockwork Goblin behind it if they want to. Looks like that's the plan.
We sort of see what I was saying earlier, in that you have a good play this turn. Like, even with Henchman Burglar, you don't really want to do that. Just because you want to clear the board, but you also want to be, like, efficient with your turn. And there's no real way of doing that. I guess Eviscerate on the 4-2 and then Evil Miscreant is probably the best play you've got here.
Well, they could... Oh, that's a Shadow Step, not a Backstab. I was going to say they could Backstab, but that's actually a Shadow Step, yeah.
Yeah.
And Waggle Pick into the 3-3 is something you are extremely happy to see from the Warrior perspective.
I'm not entirely sure about that, just because they were really hoping that a minion would stick onto the board, and Waggle Pick obviously like bounced the minion back. His hand is obviously really good in the late game, but it's kind of just waiting on the rogue to do things. If the rogue's not putting stuff down, at least at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the rogue's going to probably start doing a whole bunch of things this turn with all those lackeys in hand, along with the 1-mana Miscreant. It's just a matter of now they almost have too many things to choose between, and it's only 6 mana to do it.
The fact that the Miscreant costs 1 mana is actually really huge here, because they can go Henchman Burglar and Miscreant, and then Dynamatic won't be able to clear very much of the board. Which obviously means that the rogue is going to start going for that aggressive game plan I was saying earlier, which is basically the only way they're ever going to win. Yeah.
So Sprint, another raiding party. The Necreant Vial's not doing much in the deck, but the other two, it's just a matter of how they want to draw their cards, basically. Do we have a... Yeah, and the Sprint makes more sense, given that they already have another raiding party in hand, and they've drawn a fair number of pirates already. They got going to get another couple of lackeys, and they're going to have to make this Discover decision fast. Twisting Nether, Shrink Ray, and Vivid Nightmare, not exactly what the rogue is looking to do.
I'm surprised they picked Twisting Nether. What do you think about that?
I mean, I guess if the warrior does get Dr. I mean, none of those were really great, so that was probably the best of a bad situation. I could see Vivid Nightmare along with a Leroy though. Because I mean, that just gives you another 6 damage going to the face. That might have been the better pick, but they didn't leave themselves a whole lot of time to be able to make that decision either.
Very true. Vivid Nightmare could also be useful later on. Like, say another Ethereal Lackey pops up, and then he gets like Daring Escape, Shadow Step, or Vanish or something. So you can copy something in 1 health and then just bounce it back, so you get like an extra copy of the minion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure about Twisting Nether. That feels debatable.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that as the rogue, you're generally going to be looking at the cards that go face, but you know, again, that might have just been looking at the other two and not having a whole lot of time to decide. I don't know. So they are going to just be able to go face with leaving that slightly awkward board for the Dynamatics and not really enough on board to clear with the Brawl. And now again, a lot of decisions to make in a short amount of time with all of these lackeys and and potentially being able to get more of them if they decide to pull like a Shadow Step off the Ethereal Lackey or something like that. Going to choose the Unleash the Beast just to get a decent amount of power on board, maybe bait out this Brawl a little bit.
Like, what would you evolve here? Like, they're evolving the Miscreant. Ooh, that's not very useful, is it?
I mean, it gave it +2 attack, I guess.
1 mana free one. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And
no, that's not the worst result.
Best, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably rather have the 5/5 live, but that's a pretty good second place. Do get a prep. That could open up some things on this turn. But
Yes, with raiding party.
Yeah. They have to make room in the hand for all that stuff to come in before they do that. They do not want to burn the second copy of Wagglepick.
That is true. See, but they are going to go for it this turn. The fact that the Henchman Burglar lived is actually pretty relevant because if it gets bounced by the Wagglepick, that is one more card compared to, say, the 5/5 or the, what's it called? The 3/5, I forget its name.
I don't know. Nobody's ever played that card ever. So.
It's something Wraith. I don't remember what it was, but it was something Wraith. Let me see. Mist Wraith, that's what it's called. Checking the in-game feed there.
Oh, that was actually they actually were able to play that raiding party with just the prep, knowing that only the one pirate was left in the deck, so no fear of burning the Wagglepick, and they're gonna evolve that pirate and get Sunreaver War Mage, which is just a 4/4, but that's still +1/+1. So
it's also another pickup. Like if Wagglepick returns Sunreaver War Mage to the hand, it's actually fine because of the sprint and Twisting Nether.
Yeah,
they can use it to deal 4 damage, so...
Maybe that was the plan all along. They knew they were going to get a Sunreaver Mage, and they held on. They're just to be able to proc it when they bounce in their hand. They're that far ahead.
Maybe, but they picked the sprint first, so it feels a little bit debatable. Oh no.
So the Town Crier is going to pull out a Militia Commander to deal with one of these 4 attack minions. Yeah, this hand. I mean, they've got all these valuable cards in their hand as Gamer Art. They just haven't had a really good board state and where they could really make use out of them.
This next turn for Gamer's Origin is actually going to be incredibly huge, because now they can cast Dynamatic. Like they can either cast 2 Dynamatics or cast Celiac. So from next turn onwards, their position on the board is going to be absolutely secure. There is very little room to get back in on the board at this point. That they realistically have a shot now is just, like you take stuff like Eviscerate, you go face.
Yeah.
Like you can't go for value at this point. You have to kill them.
Yeah, and I mean they do have a potential Shadow Step on the Leroy with the Wagglepick, if they can get the rest of this board to be cleared off, but they're having to play minions in order to trigger things like the combo on the Eviscerate, and trying to figure out just how much of this damage they can push face. And we're gonna backstab the 1/2. I would expect this is a good spot for this Unleash the Beast to come out.
This is a good spot for Sprint as well, because they're emptying their hands so much that next turn Sprint is going to be a pretty easy play. Who knows? Maybe this is like the Galaxy Brain scenario where Twisting Nether is actually good, because now that they're losing the board, they can Twisting Nether like one giant stupid Zilliax like we see here.
Right.
Just to stop it from healing anymore. I don't know. Maybe it was correct to pick Twisting Nether all along.
I mean, that's how they're going to lose, right? Is they just get, like something gigantic and they stick Zilliax onto it, which it looks like they can do. I mean, they can Omega Devastator the 5/5, put the Zilliax on, and then take out the 4/3, and then just sitting there with a couple of 1/1s.
They most certainly could do that. Something I'm eyeing up is the combination of the Vicious Scalehound and Zilliax. It looks like they're not going to go for that, but with that combination, they would heal for 5 and then get 5 armor. Or per Zilliax hit, but this is also incredibly good. The only way they deal with this is Twisting Nether.
Which, I mean, why not? Like...
it doesn't put anything on the board, that's why not.
Well, I mean, you're not putting anything on the board anyway, right? Like, if you're not going to run your Wagglepick and a Leroy into the 7/7 and heal them for 14, heal them up to full, rather. I mean, it's not going to heal them for 14. I mean, you could just... And you need to get stuff out of your hand before you're going to Myra's anyway.
That is true. And I've just seen that there is no sap. A big deal. Like, there's no way of dealing with these big threats. He's got to use the AoE on it.
Yeah. I mean, the only other way they're going to be able to do that is if they Myra's into you know, into a Miscreant, into the Discover Lackey, into Sap, right? Which is like, you have Twisting Nether in your hand. You picked it off the thing for a reason. You may as well use it. They are going to sprint, though.
Yeah. Oh, they drew the
Vendetta
Vendetta,
helps.
though.
Okay.
This is looking pretty solid
We got
right
there.
now. It's just a shame that they have to heal them back to full, though, with this 1 damage hit. So that Zilliax turn right there, like, pretty much secured the board for the rest of the game, just because of all of the dynamatics and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a slow burn, but I think the Warriors eventually going to edge it out, just because the Rogue has no value plan they can fall back on, like I said at the start of all this.
Yeah, I mean, even just like 7 cards left in the list, and they don't run anything like a Nomi or, you know, anything that's going to be a really big bomb at the end of the game. They're just relying on those burgled cards to be able to carry them forward. And if that Zilliax hadn't come down, they might have been able to get away with that. But that Zilliax just undid all of those cards that they threw at face last turn.
Yeah,
And
I think we may see like the final Hail Mary being the Edwin Van Cleef that we just see drawn off the top, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Like, Dynamatics can still deal 10 damage to the opposing board when they come down, and I don't think Edwin's getting bigger than 10-10 at this point.
I mean, what can they get off of like they can? It's pretty much like they do have an Inspire Morale, which they can get an additional Lackey off. I believe they still have 1 Miscreant left in the deck.
Yes, they have only played 1 Miscreant so far.
Yeah. So, I mean, they can get some stuff to happen, but it's going to take a chain of randomonium in order to get that to happen, I would imagine. And we're also starting to get to the point where the bombs are going to start becoming very relevant, because they have Gamers Argent really hasn't been getting very many bomb generating cards, and now with only 7 cards left in the deck, or 6 cards left before that bomb got shuffled in, there's 1 bomb right off the top.
That is very true. I had actually slightly forgotten that there were even bombs in this deck.
So did I.
Because I was like, oh, it's just standard control warrior, and then I was like, oh, Clockwork Goblin, and then I had to take a look. I was like, oh yeah, they're playing Blastmaster Beam. Of course they're playing Bomb Warrior. This game's been going on too long.
Yeah, and you know the Myra's is now pretty much a dead card. The Life Drinker can help a little bit of the life game, but now you have attack mode in the position of having to both clear and start to develop some pressure of their own, and they just don't really have the cards for it. I mean, I guess the lackeys can turn that around depending on what gets rolled off of them.
Yeah, they barely have the life total for it too, just because they're at 8 right now.
So they're gonna bounce back the.
Coming.
Yeah, they're gonna bounce back the Miscreant, just get maximum lackey generation. So the Goblin Lackey will trade off the 3/2. They can use the Kobold Lackey to take out the Scale Hound, and then that's going to be the big Edwin, and they're going to hope that that's enough. 12/12 is pretty large. Oh, so,
Caliber though, so that will shuffle a bomb in, and that does put them down to 5. So they draw a bomb.
They can even shield block to look for the Elec.
Quite possibly.
I mean, also Shield Slam would probably. Well, Shield Slam isn't even going to do anything, but
Maybe we could live the 2/2.
They could find the other Brawl too.
That is a very good point. How many cards do they have in the deck? They currently have 5 cards left in the deck, so it's a 1 in 6 right now to draw a bomb, if I am not mistaken. I believe I'm not.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the 3 mana to use anyway. I mean, unless you're Dynamite to clear off some of this pressure, but do you even care? Like, I mean, you're at 29. A shield block would bring you up to 34. Like, yes, the rogue can do a lot of damage, but if you're not clearing that Edwin anyway, and that's kind of the biggest source of it, like that, those other 3 minions, what are they doing?
That thing is Brawl Fodder is probably what Gamers Origin is thinking. It looks like they're gonna go for it.
Yep. Alright.
It's very unlikely for them to die here as well, so they're most likely gonna shuffle another bomb in next turn as well.
Yeah, because there is no weapon removal in the list either. So, okay, well, there's no bombs, so we have 12, 13, 14, 15 on board right now, and attack mode pretty much needs to get to 37 this turn. There's 3 of it from the Life Drinker. That does bring them up to 8, which is relevant also.
I was about to say that 8 isn't overly relevant just because Wrench Caliber can go face
Right.
and then put them right back down to 5 again, but
Yeah.
it all depends on what these Witchy Lackeys can get, because Witchy Lackey can get taunt, so it can stop the Wrench
can,
Caliber
yeah.
from going face, and as a result, stopping them from dying.
So they are.
They need the Brawl. They need to kill the Edwin, otherwise they're probably just going to die. They ran out of cards.
Yeah. This is